Hi, I'm Shola and welcome to Life on Film, brought to you by E17 Films in collaboration with The Barbican. In this series, we're going to learn how to make films using our smartphones without having to break the bank or go to film school. We're living in a really unique time, so we think everyone should be able to capture this moment in history using what they already have and taking inspiration from what's around them. Let's get started. Composition essentially refers to what's in frame and where it sits in the shot. This means that there are a few things to take into consideration when it comes to framing shots for your film. Try and draw as much focus to your subject as possible. You might recognise these lines on your screen, and you can use them as a guide for framing your shots by using the rule of thirds. The lines split the screen up into thirds, so placing your subject along any of these lines is an easy way to guarantee that your shots will look professional. Try and make sure you shoot against a clear background. You want to try and avoid an area where there might be lots happening behind you, so not quite like this. Again, the aim is to draw as much focus to your subject as possible. Think about the types of shots you want to use in your film. There are plenty of different looks and choices to try out. Here are a few shot types you might want to try out. Mid-shot, long shot, extreme long shot, close-up, big close-up. Stabilization can also really help your film to look more professional. Some people use tripods, but there are other DIY ways of making your shot steady. Here are a few ideas for making your own DIY tripod. You might also want to consider adding some movement to your shots, like pan, whip pan, zoom, tilt, track. If you want to try and keep your walking shots more stable, try holding the phone tight, using as much surface as you can without covering the camera. Then, try and keep your shoulders level and your knees slightly bent. That way, you're absorbing the shock of walking, thus keeping your shot steadier. With lighting, there are two main things to consider: sources of light and how to control them. Try and make sure you have some light in your shots so that your subject is well lit and visible. Always try to shoot with the light facing your subject, especially if you're shooting outside during daylight, since you can't exactly control the sun. Try not to point the camera directly towards the light, as this can result in overexposure, which means that there's too much light entering the lens and your subject will be completely washed out. While audio may seem like the least important part of filming, it actually makes a huge difference to the quality of the end result. Try and limit all ambient sound from the background of your shots. So this could mean the sound of a washing machine in the next room, or cars on the road, or someone even singing next door. You want to try and make sure that there's as little background noise in your shots as possible, so that you can keep consistent with what you've already filmed. Remember, if you're filming outside, try and take the wind into consideration. If it's a really windy day, you're probably not going to be able to capture any dialogue.
And now, on to some top tips with me, Monday. A few local filmmakers and I have compiled a list of top tips to help you guys shoot on a smartphone. Here they are.
Number 1 is composition. Always remember your framing and the rule of thirds. Divide your screen into thirds so your subject sits nicely in shot for close-ups, mid-range, long shots, inserts and over-the-shoulder shots.
Number 2 is shooting from multiple angles. Make sure to film a range of shots. A rule I was taught is to always capture each action from 3 different angles, ranging in height, perspective and distance from the subject. This will provide you with more freedom in the edit.
Number 3 is stability. Capturing perfectly still shots are essential. So make sure to use a tripod or a flat surface to balance your phone on when filming. Number 4 is movement. A dynamic handheld camera is just as important. When capturing moving images, try to be as stable as possible by using a selfie stick or slightly bend your knees when walking.
Number 5 is focus and the technique of focus pull. To shift the focus within your shots, you can simply tap the screen on most phones. Switching between the background and the foreground is known as a focus pull. It's a technique used to draw audiences' attention to a particular object or part of the screen.
Number 6 is frame rates and time lapses. Most phones come with the ability to shoot in different frame rates. Shooting at 60 or 120 frames per second can allow for some cool slow motion or fast forward effects to convey drama. The time lapse feature can give you the opportunity to visually display the passage of time.
Number 7, audio. You can either record audio on the built-in microphone on your phone or using an additional lav mic or a shotgun mic which you can plug straight into your phone. When you're recording audio, you need to make sure you're reducing the background noise as much as possible.
Also, if you can, try not to record your audio outside because the wind will make anything you're trying to record inaudible.
Number 8, lighting. Lighting is super important. You need to make sure you're shooting in ideal conditions and that your main source of light is facing your subject. For example, in this video, my main source of light is my bedroom window, and it's facing me, the subject, so that I'm well lit.
Number 9 is filter and lenses. You can use third-party lenses or apps like Snapchat and Instagram, which provide users with creative filters. You can add them as additional characters.
And number 10 is just have fun with it. Try something new, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and enjoy the process. Honestly, don't overthink it.
Thank you for watching the first video in our series, and be sure to stay tuned for more tips and tricks with us here at Life on Film.